mean?
Yes.
But now
Yes.
we're aware of this. But these are things we should have been aware of a long time ago. A long time ago. Now they're actually talking about trying to change it. Well, the only reason they're trying to change it now is because it's been exposed. But
Exactly.
as long as it works for them, it's don't ask, don't tell. I mean, just think about that. When you got a law that says don't ask, don't tell, I mean, what does it tell us?
As we say, if you have a
Exactly.
system and certain people are winning from this system, that's what the system was built for. If you have a system where people are losing, then the system wasn't built for you. Okay, so if you steady look at and you see the disparity in the system, you see what happens with the system, you see if you get caught up in the system, it ain't to your advantage, then what's your other option? Stay your ass out.
That's
the system.
You got to stay out by any and all means.
By
you know,
any means necessary. If you know this is a bad problem, I don't like snakes. I'm not going where they are. I'm not going to try to put myself in a position to be trapped where a bunch of snakes are. So if I know this is a bad thing, even though I know I may not have a choice, I feel like I don't have a choice. But again, that's what you've been told. That's what you've been indoctrinated. As you say, that's the plan. You got to be able to see beyond that plan, right? There's always a choice. Screw that. There's always a choice because guess what? There's always a consequence.
It's always the consequences, man. Always consequences. It's just like I'll tell anybody, man, everything that we say and do has life behind it. There's life behind it. Even in the movies, bro. You know, when they taking them brothers, man, with the goals in their mouth and they showing them pulling pistols, man, those movies go all around the world.
Yes.
They all around the world.
Imagery,
and they
man.
Tell it, and they project this is what a thug is. So if you see this, this is what this is. You know, so I mean, it's like I say, bro, it's entrenched so much in this society, and we so far behind when it comes to things. Like, for those that know, we have to be vocal. And when I say, when we live by that, turn the other cheek, that's exactly what we've been doing. If you don't say anything about it, it's just basically saying like you condone it. So
well, if you turn the other cheek, you ain't seen it. Because when your cheek and your head is turned, guess what? Your eyes go with it.
Exactly, bro. You know,
we got
to start dealing with it, bro.
We definitely have to deal with it, though, man. But that's why we're doing this here, though, man. Again, with the straight from the street segment, because I felt, you know, that's something that we can use as well, and we can catch them on the ground level, on the street level, because you can't get no lower than the street unless you're going underground, and we ain't catching them dead and buried because they already dead and buried. We're going to catch them on the street level, alive and walking and breathing. But at the end of the day, though, man, that's what it's about. Again, giving them, and then catching them, but then giving them something while they're here, giving them an alternative. Okay, we talked about helping the guys when they get out of prison and this, that, and the third. Okay, once you get your truck driving thing going on, as far as your company and stuff like that, that's an outlet. That's a job. Yes. You got something to give them. Because right now, we got a lot of conversations, but can't put nobody to work. You know, we can't. And so when we tell people these kind of things, well, hey, man, get off the streets, man. Don't do this, man. What you going to do? Are you going to give me a job? You going to give me money? Because I got to get this money. So we can tell them all day long, hey, man, that's not a good choice. But guess what? If I feel like this is my only choice, and unless you have an alternative, they're not going to really listen. It's going to be hard to gain that attention. And truth be told, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
It don't. Because we live in a capitalist society, you know?
Big time.
This is a capitalist society.
Big time. And so we have to be real about that. Bro. We just have to be real about that.
I experienced that when I got out. You know, it was like, you know, a lot of potential, and I stayed grounded, trying to stay grounded. But it was hard, bro. It was hard. Like, when nobody, you know, pulling up on me or calling me and asking me, like, man, do you need to go over here? Or, brother, let me take you over here. You know,
you a burden, bro. You was a burden, man. You were a burden. Even though you went out, even though you got out, you did your thing, your debt to society and all that kind of stuff. You were a burden. You know, nobody want to take you nowhere and do this for you and this, that, and that, man. We sent you a little bit while you was in there. We wrote you a few letters. I mean, what you want from us, bro?
Yeah, that's true, bro. And another thing, bro, like I try to always, you know, when I'm out here dealing with these youngsters, young cats, you know, I always let them know, like, man, you know, that's felony, bro. Like, okay, if they give you 5 years, they give you 5 years, and you feel like, well, I got off lucky. What they don't realize, bro, that felony is going to follow you for the rest of your life. I mean, certain apartments you can't get. You know what I mean? Certain jobs you can't get. You can't go to school and take up certain courses because of that. You know, so that impacts you for the rest of your life. But we're going to jails and prison in staggering numbers, bro.
Staggering numbers. That's why I go on that point. That's why I hit that point again. Yeah, the product of your environment. Yeah, it's all set up where it's all bad. Yeah, all you see is drugs. Yeah, all you see is poverty. But do you still have to do that? When you lay out all this other stuff right here, okay, say if the cat come to you and say, hey, man, you're of age right now, right? It's time for you to slang this dope, baby. It's time to get this work in. Okay, now, another cat come up with the same knowledge that you just spitting tonight, giving you all the consequences, giving you everything that can happen wrong if you make this choice right here. Would you still make that choice?
That's why I say that's one of those to each his own. Mm-hmm. Like that particular person got to be in a dire situation, or they dealing with pain. For anybody to make that type of decision, bro, they got to feel like their situation is just that desperate.
It warrants
because exactly, you know what I mean? Like logically and rationally, no one would make that type of decision when you look at those consequences. So if you do make that decision, you got to feel like whatever it is that you need it right then. And you are willing to accept the consequences. And you got a lot of people feel like it's just that serious. You know? Like I said, when it comes to with the parenting, like our kids are angry is because, you know, we make them get up and go to school every single morning. You get up, you're going to go to school, and get that paper. You're going to get that diploma. They go and get that diploma. They want to take it a step further. They want to go to college. I ain't got no money for you to go to college. You need to find your job. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's anger. That's resentment. You know, because society is designed so when these brothers finish high school, they go to college, they get them a degree. They step out of society. Society's supposed to embrace that and open up the ways for them to chase this American dream, this quote-unquote American dream. Like, but how many of our kids are actually able to fulfill that? You know how many parents, you know, it's serious. It is very serious. How many parents actually have set aside money for their kids to go to college, college funds? For those that's not getting scholarships. Now, of course, if you play football or basketball, if you're the best athlete, we can get you in one of the best schools. But it goes back to saying it's a tick for tat. We're not going to give it to you unless you do this for us. Right. But how many parents are put themselves in a position so that they can give kids their money and send them to college?
But and also, when it gets real. There's a lot of grant money out here for people with low income to go to school. But because that knowledge isn't there, you just assume, I don't have money, you can't go to school. Yes, you can. There are options out here. There are choices out here for that. But again, spreading that knowledge and spreading that information. If I don't know that, then how can I identify with that knowledge? I don't know that. I didn't know I had that option. And so a lot of times I think people don't realize that they do have an option to go and they choose another route. And you heard the saying, loyalty is only good as your options, right? So if they knew it was a way for that kid to go to college without breaking the bank, without them having to borrow money and all that kind of stuff, they would do that. But a lot of times people don't grab them and hold them by the hand because they don't want to go to that condition. They don't want to go to that situation. They don't want to go reach and talk to them. Because they see him as lost anyway. They don't even see him as valuable. So a lot of times they don't get the information that they need. And so then you stuck with this consequence. You stuck with this situation because it was all about dissemination of information. And a lot of times we just have to be willing to share that without wanting something in return. Or without condemning the next person or making them feel bad because they don't readily accept that information. If you tell me everything you know about whatever and I'm not familiar with that, I'm not going to automatically just jump at that. So there's going to be a little resistance because people are comfortable with where they are, whether you're uncomfortable with it or not. So we have to deal with each other, I think, with understanding and with love and with patience. And I think some of the issues will start subsiding little by little, but we got to be able to, again, not sit on information, not think we better than the next person, and come down and just treat each other as people. See us, see each other, man. You know, I think if we do more of that, and as we said earlier, the sense of I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. It is my responsibility. Hey, young man, let me talk to you for a few minutes, man. Why you talking to that young lady like that, man? Why do you feel the need to talk to her like that? Why you got to talk, without it? Man, you ain't in my business. You don't know me. No, I don't know you. I don't know you. Right. But I know you know better than talk to her like that. And if you don't know better, there's a different way of doing that. We got to be able to do that without it being a fight. Without it being an altercation, without it being man, you don't know me, get up out my face. Man, we got to stop that. This fake bravado, this fake swag, this fake stuff. We got to stop that. And I think when we see that, when we start seeing each other, because soon as something happens where a white man kills a black man, first thing they say, well, black on black crime is high. And it is. It is high. It is high. If we make up 13% of a population or 13% of an area, the crime rate statistics shouldn't be 50, 60, 70%. Why is that? What the hell are you so mad at? Why are you mad at somebody that look just like you? That'll go through the same consequence as you, and if somebody on the other side that have hate in their heart would treat you just like they'll kill you dead with hate in their heart. Yep. But you see another brother with the same color as you don't see his struggle? You don't see his pain? You don't see what he gonna go through, and you gonna kill him too? What gives you the right? What gives anybody the right to take a life? You don't give it?
Absolutely.
You don't give it?
You're absolutely right, bro. I mean, that's why like when we have these segments, that's what we try to push.
Trying to, man.
We have to be vocal, and it's all repetitive. It's something that has to be done every day. Just like you say, it gotta develop in their psyche. You know what I mean? You have to really look at it, even for the conscious brothers. There's a lot of brothers out here with knowledge, but a lot of them are not active. A lot of them are not active. A lot of them, like I say, we go to these corporate plantations. We do our 10, 11 hours on the job. We come home. At that point, we feel like, well, I'm done. I don't did my job. I'm going to flip the remote. I don't want to do nothing else. That's not going to bring the change, man. That's not going to happen. We have to do this every day. It needs to be talked about every day. It needs to be in the churches. We have to teach our kids. We have to.
It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to teach our kids, not the school, not no one else. It's our responsibility because if they're born to us and we have the responsibility to raise them and teach them. So if the kid grow up and becomes nothing and just absolutely, and you say, well, I know I taught you better than that. If we really go back and really just honestly poll ourselves, can we say we really taught them better than that? And if we didn't, because again, there's always better. We can always do better. We can always put the focus on what's wrong. We can always put the focus, what can we do better? We can go to our kids and say, hey, what can I do better as a parent? What would you like to see better? Have a dialogue and a conversation and not a dictatorship.
Right. Yeah, we got to open up. We got to open up to them. You got to talk to them. We got to open up. We got to open up, talk to them like what you just said. Like, what is it that I could do to help me become a better father?
Man, I just talked to my son this past weekend. Yeah. My son's 13, right? We was riding back when I was picking him up, and we was riding back on 45 and everything. And I'm riding everything, and I say, son, I'm always repeating myself to you, on some of the things that I need you to do because I get him every other weekend and stuff like that. And I was like, do you understand something? Why I be fussing at you and stuff? He like, yeah, Dad, I do. He said, but sometimes you use words that's too big for me to understand, and I don't really get it. I say, but when I ask you, do you understand what I'm saying? And you say, yeah. I walk away thinking that you understood that, and you walk away, you didn't understand that. So if I'm not clear on something, I need you to stop me right then and there, no matter how I feel about it. Hey, I need you to clarify that.
You're right, bro. I
didn't get mad at him from 13. Oh, you don't tell me what to do. You know what? I'm sorry, son. I do throw sometimes different words around that I thought you knew, but I'm my bag. And so I'll make sure that I can break it down for you understand it. And if I do use a big word, Google it. Go look it up. And then now you get the understanding of what I'm saying. And now we both on the same page and we read out the same book.
Exactly, bro. It's a learning experience for the both parties.
It's learning, man.
You learned something from it and he learned something from it. And that's the beautiful thing. That's the art of it.
And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do, though, man. That's definitely what you have to do, though, man.
We got a lot of work to be done.
We do. We do have a lot of work to be done, man. We do have a lot of work to be done, but we going to get it done. Now, real quick, man, before we get up out of here and everything, man, let's hit like a couple of bullet points as far as like, just give us a couple of solutions. What are a couple of solutions that we can come up with to get these young men to think about the consequences of the choices before they land themselves up in this prison plantation, if you will?
One of my first solutions would be which I would tell anybody, man, like, honestly, look at yourself.
Yes,
look at your condition. Look at the condition of your people and ask yourself,